Hi guys, it's Colette. Welcome back to my channel, and it's a wee coffee and chat in the midst of these worrying times. Don't worry that I'm ill or anything. I just have given up on makeup or anything like that. I think I've got lip gloss on, that'll do. Um, excuse me. I have a wee cough and I have a sore throat and I'm lacking in energy, but I really just feel that's kind of half normal for myself, so I'm not that worried. I'm more interested in how you're all doing, to be honest, during the time of this plague as such. Right, Gemini first. Gemini, about a week ago, started self-isolating because he's over 60 and has a few problems, and I've got a dodgy immune system and kidney stuff. So my daughters were very firm with us and said, enough, you're going to self-isolate, which is really easy in the cottage because neighbours kind of keep themselves to themselves as we do, and horses go by every so often and a few tractors and stuff coming back, people that are heading up to we've got stables either side of the lane, so there's always horses or people going to the stables, but that's about it. And my own girls coming, so we can do it very easily here. We barely see folk here during the winter anyway, unless we go out into the town. But there's nothing to go into the town for at the moment because there's not a lot of things that the things that we want aren't there, and I know that from my girls and stuff, that things are getting a wee bit dodgy. The good thing that Gemini started preparing a wee bit for Brexit, so we've got a few cupboards full of the necessities. We're just down now to oat milk and UHT milk and stuff like that, but hopefully we'll get there. It's just so we theoretically have been in isolation about 10 days now, and at first it was fine because I had things that I wanted to do, and my younger daughter, who's got a real dark sense of humour, said, well, it'll take a pandemic, mum, but at least you'll get your book written and finished. So every cloud has a silver lining, doesn't it? And sure enough, I'm getting on with the book a wee bit more. So I'm all over the place. I hadn't even thought of this. I just decided that I would come on and chat because it can be too long. And then if I do get the virus or something, I'll not be online. So anyway, that was fine. So we had enough stock, enough necessities, enough heating, stuff like that. So we're fine, and the weather's getting that wee bit less cold, so we're even better, because the only problem with the cottage is if ever the heating goes off or whatever, then it's freezing, but it's not, we're fine. So just I needed to let you know we're both fine. The things that you don't think of initially are happening, though. I feel that I started to get a wee bit low about not seeing my girls in Alexander, so we started doing video calls, which has been lovely, and that lifted me up a wee bit, and it was great. It was my daughter Alexander, my younger daughter and me, and Jim popping in, and it was really, really nice. But afterwards I felt quite low after it, like as having a science background and having done microbiology or stuff, I'm under no illusions that this is going away in 2 weeks. So I felt as though I had that knowledge and was like, and then it kind of hit me that it's Alexander's first birthday at the beginning of February and I wouldn't be there for it, and that kind of got to me a bit because I've got all his presents here. But we're going to work that out some way. The girls my daughter's going to come up. She's got medicines to pick up from us. We were again okay for that, but the dose of my meds, one of them wasn't correct, so I would be running out earlier. So my daughter's going to come up and give the meds and kind of keep away at the car a wee bit in the driveway, and I'm just taking the opportunity to give the wee ones presents out and the girls Easter presents out, and a present I've got for Jennifer as well, which is just a kind of mum to a mum present, for baby being a year. I think it's a nice thing to do because she's a mummy for a year now, kind of, if you know what I mean. So so that'll all go hopefully at the beginning of next week, and we'll continue with the sort of 3-way video calls, and that'll be nice. But I'm very aware that if I were to get the virus, it probably wouldn't be that good for me. I'd probably take it quite badly because my immune system goes off fighting all sorts of things anyway. So it's better and it's logical to burrow in here and not have that contact, and hopefully Jim will be safe as well. I'm just trying not to think how long it will take, because I've always been I spent most of my life, particularly from my mid-30s, in kind of the public eye a bit, like I was sort of there for all the readings, but I did TV, I did radio, spoke up for things, it's kind of known, and then wrote for a local newspaper and stuff, so it was always very full on. So when we moved here, been here 7 years now, but when we moved here, it felt almost I could keep the world at bay a wee bit, and that was nice. And then when I decided to give up the readings face-to-face, I think 2017, they were just becoming too difficult for me physically and mentally. And that was another step into this sort of, not isolation, but having more space just for me. And I found that although I thought for most of my life I've been extremely extroverted, I've found that since I came here and I've stopped having clients in and out the house and stuff like that I actually do enjoy a lot of the solitude. And I thought, well, with things that happen, that's good, because Jim's a bit like that as well, because we were both in it together, particularly when we had the shop. So we were both pretty full on with people round about us, and then we started pulling off and both realised that we do like our own space, our own company from time to time, and couples time as well, but we're not people that need to be stuck to one another all the time. We may be in the same house, but we do different things and come together for dinners and like maybe a video or two. So I really thought I would be okay with this, and I was until a couple of days ago, and it just hit me that I wouldn't be at Alexander's first birthday, and that really got me down a bit. And then I thought, come on, Colette, pull up your big girl pants and get your arse in gear, basically. I've done survival things when I was younger, in my 30s, and I've made do and mend a lot of occasions, and in a way a lot of the sort of training or mindset that I did, because I've been in situations where I was really putting myself out of my comfort zone, very much physically and mentally. So I've done that, and I've been proud of the things I've done like that. So I thought, well, if you've done all these things, why are you starting to get like a wee tearful old lady now? So I thought, yeah, you're right. I've been training for this sort of thing since my mid-30s in a way. So that made me think, come on here, it's probably, I think it's more difficult for my girls because they're missing me as well, but at the same time they're worried that I will get something and not be well at all. So yeah, I'm quite, once I got I kind of thought, no, this isn't good enough, I started to feel much better and much more optimistic. The one thing that gets me down a bit is like all sort of procedures have been stopped at the hospitals, and Jim was waiting on a biopsy, which now won't really go ahead until things are better. So that's a bit of a bummer, but hopefully it'll be okay. It was precautionary probably anyway. But it's things like that you don't take into account, you know. But as I say, please know that we are very safe. We've got enough, and we've got family and friends that can drop things off for us, but we are trying to be very, very, very staunch with the self-distancing and self-isolation. So, how are you? You know, it's kind of everywhere now, so I have a lot of followers and friends in the USA, and I was getting myself all caught up in that because I didn't think it would be taken seriously enough, but maybe now it is, so maybe you'll get the support that you need, because it is going to spread massively, and there has to be steps taken. Our schools close here tomorrow, I believe, until the Easter holidays, but it could be right through to the summer holidays. And although that's a bit drastic, these quarantine situations are the only thing, with all the other wee hand washing things, but the quarantine mainly, that's going to flatten out that curve, so that the health service can cope. So yeah, there's a lot of people still going to get it, but what we're aiming for is not everybody getting it at the same time, because that would be drastic. So if we flatten out that curve as to, you know, the people getting it, and it goes on a bit longer, but the peak doesn't go over what the health service can deal with, then that's a lot better, and that's what I staunchly believe in. So I get quite annoyed. I was on, I think it was Twitter this morning, there were people in Florida beaches, the kids out for holidays and stuff, and I was like, you know, just because you're outdoors doesn't mean that this thing won't travel, or that, you know, you're not going to pass it on. And you know, I was looking at some of the data, and it looks like the worst age group affected is 60 to 69, believe it or not, and also males. And so that's Jim. So, you know, I'm not taking any risks here. The other thing is, there's some little reports, they're just baby reports, but it's like blood group is a wee bit more resistant to it, but A isn't. So Jim is A. He's 60 to 69 and he's a man, so he's he's sort of high risk. I'm O, which is not such high risk, and female, and yeah, I do have immunosuppressed stuff, etc., but not through chemotherapy or anything. I mean, that's a different situation altogether. So, America, those in America, how are you doing? How are you feeling? How are you upbeat, or have you hit the kind of, oh God? I'm seeing it both on Facebook and Twitter and stuff, that there's a lot of people that are like, yeah, we're fine, and then maybe a week later they're like, oh God, no, I'm really sad, I can't get a mask, or I can't get this, or I can't get that. So for those of you in the USA, I hope that your government gets to act on this. Also, those of you in Australia and Middle East, India, oh my God, it's like, it's massive, isn't it? But you're everywhere. I know I've got people that follow this channel in the Philippines and Brazil, in Europe, all over Europe and Eastern Europe, and I want to know how you are, and I want you to tell me if you would want us to do some sort of maybe online healing session, or organise something that we're online at the one time and they're all maybe putting energy into the blue rose or whatever. I haven't thought that through yet, to be honest, because I just wanted to come and have a coffee with you, but something I'll think of. So wherever you are, if you need to talk, or you need to put your feelings down, welcome to do it in the comments section. And if I don't get back to you, which I probably will, then someone else will. We're a great wee community on here. If you have worries, if you have fears and you have anxieties and you don't feel like talking to a child about them, you know, grown up adult child or whatever, if you don't feel that you can confide your worries, then you can do it on here if you feel comfortable with that. But there will be someone replies to you. I can as good as guarantee that, because there's people that have been with the channel for 4.5 years now, and they're very active with new members. You all know who you are, and I'm grateful to every one of you for you know, jumping in when I can't. So thank you very much. As it goes on, I might be jumping on more and more to do wee random live streams, as long as you're okay with the haunt a house face. I didn't believe I could look so pale, in all honesty, but there we go. It's just, it is what it is. I'm Celtic. Right, so is there anything else I wanted to say? I'll try and get videos up as I've got the energy to do it. There will definitely be a Psychic Development number 26 going up within the next few days, and maybe some mediumship. I'll just keep going when I can. I do want to get on with the book, which is shaping up nicely. I finished a big section on animals and animal souls and all the stories from people, and it's fantastic. It's not just a wee chapter, it's like a bit of a section on its own, and that's great. And now I'm on to the stories and my thoughts of, you know, as we approach death and the spirits that come round about us and then take us over and stuff. And it's a wonderful part, and some of you have given me your stories and they're amazing. It's harder to write and then incorporate someone else's story. It would be easier if I'd just written all this book on my own, to be honest, but I wouldn't have the lovely personal stories that I've got. So it's worth the agony of trying to fit things in at the right place within my own prose as well. And one of my beta readers, actually when I was feeling not so great, emailed me and she said, you know, I've not got through the full amount that you've given me, but so far I think this is your best book ever, Colette. She said that the writing's lovely, the subject matter's handled very, very honourably, and there's still Colette humour in it. And I was like, with tears, and like, oh my god, because to get that is really, really nice, because it's a hard book. It's a book on death, not with the death of me, to be honest. It needs to be out by the summer maybe, or whatever, but it all depends, doesn't it? There might not be ways of getting editing done, there might not be ways of getting the, you know, people could be ill and there goes your cover art or whatever, you know, but there's no point in thinking about that when I'm still, you know, struggling with the second draft kind of thing. But yeah, I'll spend time on that. I also want to, you know, I want to get more fresh air. I want to get in the garden and, you know, even if it's just toddling about it once a day or sitting in the greenhouse, because I know that aspect with the sunshine and with the fresh air makes me feel healthier, and also I believe it does help me be healthy. So I want to be outside a wee bit more. I also want to take the opportunity of just getting things up to date, you know, like the odd wardrobe or drawer cleared out or whatever. It'll take a while. My hands aren't working so well just now, but that's for the future. But what I'm trying to say is, like, if you're on a kind of lockdown, that's not great, but we have to find something in it to hang on to. We have to find, right, okay, I can't go out, I can't do this, I can't do that, so therefore I will make use of the time to do this or that. And then if you get ill, you just have to let everything go and focus on breathing, eating, drinking, and getting yourself better. But I hope a lot of you don't actually take it. But it is what it is, isn't it? So I'd like to thank the nurses and doctors and porters and everybody that, you know, the scientists that are working here to keep us right and on the front line as such. I don't think they get enough praise for putting themselves out there in this sort of situation. It's very unknown, you know, but there's people, we see big heroes, we see people like maybe that are millionaires that are opening their restaurants, they're opening their hotels and whatever, and that's brilliant, and I applaud them all. But that wee porter that's in the hospital and is pushing beds from one ward to another, he or she needs the pat on the back too. The nurses that are taking double shift because somebody's down with the virus, they need that pat on the back and thank you too. So I think what I would like to say is that maybe in all of this we could learn to be kinder, we could learn to be more compassionate and more thankful. My coffee isn't as good with oat milk in it, but I'm thankful I've got the oat milk for it. I'm thankful I've got the coffee. You know, I'm not going to go there thinking there might be a coffee problem, because that just doesn't bear thinking about. I mean, I don't drink, I don't smoke. Coffee is my vice. Excuse me. So, keep in touch. Let me know whether you want sporadic live streams. I wouldn't be able to, they wouldn't be like, right, I'm going to be online in X amount of days or whatever. They would be like, I feel like a chat, I'm going on. If we want to do something with the channel as in healing, and remember that I've put up a one that's about protecting yourself magically and scientifically from the virus, and it's doing quite well. I'm happy about that, but YouTube is demonetizing anything that mentions the word, and you know the word, because it's obviously bad. So anything that I do that's about that will not be monetized. So if you want to help support the channel, there's a link to coffees down below. It's a place where you can PayPal a coffee for $3 or £3, and it's quite nice, and it'll help keep us going through whatever time if you want to do that. If you don't, that's fine too, because I believe that everybody will have to watch their money. And I would not want anybody buying me a coffee and not having enough for themselves. I really wouldn't. It would make me feel vile. Vile is evil backwards. Do you realise that? Anyway, I do miss yous. I will be doing the monthly tarot card and forecast. I've got a lot in my book that I want to work my way through, but I'm going to have to pace myself and do it in between book writing and resting. And Jim's back's gone out, so he's in a wee bit of a state just now, so I have more to do, because I didn't realise how much the two of us share things, so it's quite like, oh, right, okay. So I'll just do what I can, but I will be keeping in touch. And if I'm not, just know that, you know, there's other things going on, or I'm worried about other things. But if I were to get the virus, I would tell you, or I would get someone else to tell you. Or if there's a thing, I sometimes leave messages in the community tab on my page, but to get them you have to have hit the bell notification and said that you want all communications from me. So if you're subscribed but you haven't hit the bell, if I am not well enough to come online but I can type to you, you'll miss that. So please hit the bell notification and subscribe. and we'll take it from there. Please keep safe, distance yourself, wash your hands. We just managed to make up hand sanitizer here, which for the two of us is fine. If you're interested, it's 7 parts isopropyl alcohol, 3 parts gel-based cream like double base, or aloe vera gel. And we also, per 500 mils, have added about 5-6 drops of tea tree oil because I like the smell of it. And you need to put the cream in first and then put the alcohol stirred into it, and it does take quite a bit. I didn't manage it this morning, Jim was doing it, so he was a big stirrer this morning, and you just keep adding the alcohol and keep blending it into the gel cream, and then add your tea tree oil or whatever oil you want, but keep it to 5 to 10 drops to 500 mils. It smells so alcoholic, obviously, because it's 70% isopropyl alcohol. Vodkas and other things don't work. It's got to be a pure alcohol. But if you, to me, putting some floral in on top or lavender or whatever, it's just it wouldn't smell right with all the alcohol smell. So I went for tea tree oil. Again, if I make another batch, I might do peppermint. But I've got it on, and it's not irritating my hands in any way. So if you want it just is what it is. It's just what I've said. But remember that all hand sanitizers must be 70% or 7 parts pure alcohol, because the bug isn't killed by it if it goes below 67%. So just go for the 70%, the 7 parts to 10 to 3, making it up to the 10, obviously. Wash your hands. Why not make it into a magical ritual while you're washing it? You could do a wee empowerment chant, the one, the Hey Banana chant. Why not? Let's walk our talk with this. Let's not lose the rituals that we do or the prayers that we say, and don't let them be overpowered, but let's make hand washing rituals or whatever a thing that is being thankful or empowering, because these things all help us on our path, and they help us to still walk our talk without fear. So I've garbled on a wee bit, but it has to end at some point. And I just would love you to keep in touch in the comments below with all the videos, and if you get the chance to share the one that's about science and magic against the bug, then please do so. So wherever you are in the world, Northern Hemisphere, happy spring equinox, lower part happy autumn equinox, and please keep yourself safe and vibrant. It's not just about being safe. Safe and survival can get, we need to bring a vibrancy in as well. We'll not be able to do it all the time, but we can do it a lot of the time. So whether that's putting on some music and dancing, or singing like the Italians that are on lockdown. Have you seen the videos on that? They're absolutely lovely. Singing from their verandas. Oh, I love Italy so much. And, things like that. Let's not lose our vibrancy either. Okay? So I love yous all, and please get back to me in the comments and keep in touch. And if you need to talk, there'll always be someone that can answer you. Believe me, there will be. So love you and leave you. Many blessings. Bye now.